The appearance of confidence, false appearance of confidence in society. The conditioned woman generally ends up in unfulfilled relationships, even after finding a, quote, man with the qualities she believed she wanted. The reason for this is that the qualities such conditioned women were programmed to desire at a subconscious level are almost always in direct opposition to what they genuinely, deep in the core of their being, desired and wanted and needed. This dynamic also works in reverse. A good example of how it works in reverse is the conditioning that inauthentic women receive to desire so-called confidence, and I put that in quotes, quote-unquote confidence in a man. Yet when they encounter men, when the inauthentic or the conditioned woman in our culture actually encounters men who possess true male confidence, they will often attempt to break down that confidence, to rip it down, to ridicule that man, and to call them know-it-alls. What such women have actually been conditioned to do, to want, is the illusion of confidence in a man. Yet when they actually encounter true male confidence in a man, they want to run away from the real thing. The hypersexualization of women in our culture and slut shaming. Now, women are hypersexualized in mass media, in advertising, and in pornography. Yet they are actively discouraged in our society from having healthy sex lives. And this encouragement for them, not to have sex, not to have healthy sexual lives, happens through the neo-feminist technique known as slut shaming. It's very prominent, very prevalent in society. They use this form of social fear as a method of control through media and pop culture. And the fear is an ongoing thing to get their peers to ridicule them. This is done with women and men. Women see other women who have healthy sexual lives, and they say, "You're a slut. You're giving it away when you can get something in return." It's not about the shared interaction, the shared familial dynamic between man and woman. That is about building bonds and experiencing pleasure and joy. It's about what can I get for it. And this is reinforced by men too. Men see women with a healthy sexual libido and say, "Oh, a slut," or she's undesirable because she's had too many partners. This is absolute, like a neo-puritanical view of sex that is still so prevalent in our society because of religious indoctrination that is still very prevalent in our society. Here's a great quote from an anonymous person on a message board that I encountered when looking up the concept of slut shaming. Okay? It says, he or she said, "I think the reason most women have unhealthy sexual lives is because they are trained to hate sex. When I was in school, our sex education classes actually taught us that sex was risky, that quote-unquote good girls withhold and avoid sex at all costs, that men only want to use women for sex, and therefore we should be suspicious of all sexual interest, that sex will hurt, etc., etc., etc." There is still the very strong idea that women who like and want sex are slutty and undesirable. And then there are the women who learn to hate sex so much that they actually never experience orgasm, meaning that even when they do have sex, they do not enjoy it, and so they eventually avoid it altogether. Ladies and gentlemen, the disturbing statistic that is reality is that over half of women never experience orgasm during a sexual experience with men. Over half. Not even right at half, more than half. I just want to go back real quickly, if I may, to this other image. Look at all the things that women are called, if they have a healthy libido. Easy, fast, whore, dirty, slut, sex kitten, loose, floozy, skank, hoe, wench, tramp, asking for it, sleeping around, hooker, siren, prostitute. That's what most people think just the person with a healthy libido is. A woman with a healthy sex life, a healthy libido is. I mean, that's a disgrace that someone should endure being, called things like that. And women do it to other women. The dynamic of sex as money. To the manipulated woman, sex has largely become a form of commerce in our society, sadly. A business transaction. That's what the actual magical experience, the shared magical experience between man and woman of sex has become in a lot of women's minds, a lot of manipulated women's minds, a business transaction. The desire for money has become completely tied up and twisted into the motivation for any type of sexual relationship between man and woman. The mindset goes something like this. If I have sex with this man, what resources can I continue to get from him long term? Men chase so hard after money for this very reason. Again, the manipulated man. They chase that money to attract women who want that money. Both genders still continue to prop up money as the most powerful religious belief system on the face of the earth. And make no mistake about it, folks, that's what the monetary system is. It is the religion of the bulk of the people on this planet. A great deal of socially engineered women have come to generally accept that sex, from a man's point of view, is just the same, whether it is part of an intimate relationship or whether he is paying a call girl or a prostitute for it, believing that since the biological act is the same, they carry equal value in a man's mind. The prostitute has something that he wants, so just exchange money for it like a business transaction. The free will, voluntary and mutual exchange of emotions and physicality as part of the genuine human sexual experience is not alike to quote-unquote paying for it in any way whatsoever. And the genuine man and the genuine woman knows this. The socially conditioned woman will often largely discount male emotions with a shallow view, which is actually a form of misandry, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Sex as a means of control by the inauthentic or culturally conditioned woman. Many socially engineered women have been conditioned that it is perfectly acceptable to use sexuality as a means of manipulating and controlling men to get them to do what they want and to give them the resources that they desire in exchange for sex or even just for the promise of sex, dangling it over their head. While one could claim that this is not technically immoral behavior, since it is voluntarily complied with on the part of many men, it is certainly a very low consciousness view of human sexuality and a low consciousness view of the exchange of energy in human relationships. Again, I'm not saying there should be no prostitution or anything like that. I think, hey, if it's voluntary, do it. I'm not saying there should be rampant promiscuity in our society either, okay? I'm just saying, while this is a voluntary, exchange, look at how much it actually diminishes the real value of the genuine thing, which can be transformative. People think about sex because it is a powerful, transformative form of energy exchange, and look at how it's being used.